Hey Magic fans, it's Paul of the Let's Talk Magic podcast, formerly the Orlando Magic UK, here with your game day preview. We are tonight talking about the Orlando Magic taking on the Toronto Raptors in what is the Magic's third in-season tournament game. But it is exciting times. It's the first on our home court, so that means a whole new court for the Amway Centre tonight. UK tip time is 12 midnight, so that's 7 p.m. for our friends in Orlando who are going to be lucky enough to be at the game. And to watch, you will in the UK you will need an active NBA League Pass subscription. Let's talk about the Magic. That's what we do first of all. Season record of 8-5, doing great guns, winning the last three, all on the road. Our in-season tournament record is 1-1 with a points differential of -14. The points differential could come in important should we be in a position to potentially qualify further on for the tournament. Home record this season so far for the Magic is 3-2, and we are standing in the regular season competition at 5th in the East. Points, we are scoring 109.4 per game, still quite low, rating 27th in the NBA, and as is our offensive rating at 27. Against us, we are only conceding 106.6 points per game. That's the fourth best in the NBA. And our defensive rating is actually rated at second. Going into last night's games, the Magic were the top defensive rated team. So things are looking good on the defensive end of the court. And despite what was an excellent performance against the Pacers, the Magic continue to rank poorly in many offensive categories. Start with free throws. We are number one in free throws attempted, third in free throws made. We've made 279 of our 368 attempts this season. The Magic are ninth in making offensive rebounds, and that's a major factor in the team being third in the scoring of second chance points. We are getting 17.5 points per game off second chance opportunities. And the Magic also rank third in points off of turnovers, taking 20.6 points per game. Big figures. Shows how intense our work rate is. That leads us nicely onto the defensive categories, because Orlando are excelling, absolutely excelling. We are second in steals made. That intensity of defensive pressure sees our opponents turn the ball over against us at a higher rate than any other team in the league. The Magic are conceding the second fewest total field goal attempts and opponent total rebounds made, and we also see the fewest assists of any team made against us. Scoring, that's being led now by Paolo Banchero, who after the Pacers game got himself up to 18.7 points per game. Franz is a close second with 18.5 points per game. Cole Anthony leaves the bench in scoring. He's also third on the team with 13.4 points per game. Paolo is still the team leader with assists in 4.5 per game. Jalen Suggs is still the team leader for steals, dropped back ever so slightly, 2.1 points per game. But that is still the fourth best steal percentage in the NBA. Jonathan Isaac and Goga Bitadze, got to give some love to Goga for his efforts, are tied with 1.4 blocks per game, and they are joint 18th in the NBA as well. Orlando's last game, wow, what a performance. They put together 3 complete quarters of basketball to take a superb road victory over the Indiana Pacers. 128, 116. Yeah, they pulled us back, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But that was the third string unit. Are we bothered about the fourth quarter? The first half was as good a performance as any team could wish for. Through the opening 24 minutes, the Magic offence found an incredible rhythm. They scored 78 points, including 48 in the paint. They shot a field goal percentage of just shy of 59%, and we took 19 free throws and only committed 2 turnovers. Stunning figures. And the defending was a platform that offence built from. Coming into the game, you have to remember that the Pacers were the number one offensive rated team, averaging 126 points per game. By the end of the first half, the Pacers only had 44 points. That's phenomenal. Indiana further came into the game with the fewest average turnovers per game, averaging at that point only 12.8 turnovers per game. By the half, they had 12 turnovers. Again, testament to the Magic's work rate. Orlando's lead was as large as 40 points during the third quarter, and that saw Coach Mosley rest most of the starters in the fourth. Anthony Black being the exception there. The third unit, as I said, did get chased down heavily, primarily by what is the Pacers' second unit. But you know what? Good experience. Let them play. Let them play. Six Magic players scored in double figures, and that was very much on reduced minutes for the core players. Paolo led the team with 24 points. Franz posted 19. Jalen Suggs, on his return to the team, having missed the last game, he produced 18 points. From the bench, Mo Wagner scored 16. Cole Anthony 15. Gary Harris 13 on his return to his hometown. Goga Batadze, again, I say we've got to give some love to the guy. He had 4 blocks, and Joe Ingles had 3 steals and 6 assists. This was a team performance. The guys really worked for one another. The starting unit: Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero and Goga Batadze. And from the bench we saw Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, Mo Wagner and Joe Ingles as the core. Chuma KK, Caleb Houston, Jet Howard and Admiral Schofield also got minutes. So total figures, some of the Magic figures, we had 21 assists, 42 rebounds, 10 steals and 10 blocks. And on 42 free throw attempts, the Magic made 35 of them. That's 83%. Well, slightly above 83% actually. So for tonight, the Magic have 2 players absent. Markel Fultz remains out, left knee tendonitis, and Wendell Carter Jr., as we all know, fractured middle finger of the left hand, out until the end of November at the minimum, re-evaluated beyond that. Jet Howard, he has been assigned to our G League squad, the Orlando Magic, and therefore he is unavailable, as is Trevelyan Queen, who is one of our two-way players, if you're not aware. Starting unit, I'd be very surprised to see anything different. Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero and Goga Batadze again. So let's talk the Raptors, talk about the Toronto Raptors. We'll take a quick look back. Last season, they had a 41-41 record. That was good enough to place them 10th in the East, but they completely missed out on the playoffs after losing the 9-10 playing game in home court to the Chicago Bulls, going down 109-105. The summer saw Nick Nurse replaced by a new head coach, and in the summer, they also picked up guard Dennis Schroeder and Jalen McDaniels, drafted sharpshooting guard Grady Dick at number 13. So, season stats. So far this season, the Raptors are 6-7, having won their last game. Their in-season tournament, they only played 1 game and they took a defeat in that game. And they are -3. I think that was to the Boston Celtics. And currently in the league, they are standing, in the Eastern Conference, they are standing 10th. Tied 10 and 11 with Brooklyn. They are scoring 110.8 points per game and they are conceding 110.8 points per game. 10th in conceding, that is, so it's a good figure, but 21st for points scored. So in the same way as Orlando, struggling a little bit as far as points per game. Their defensive rating is 7th and offensively it's 23rd. They are a team that focuses shooting volume from inside the arc. They get good numbers in assists. Dennis Schroeder is top 10 for total and per game assists. Scotty Barnes is top 20. They take the NBA's 5th most field goal attempts and they do well on offensive rebounds as well. Defensive play is middle in the league in pretty much every category outside of rebounding. Jakob Poeltl, he's grabbing offensive rebounds at a very high rate, and when he's bringing them out, he's also proving highly efficient on the shooting side of things, having the league's 2nd best field goal percentage at 69.9%. Scotty Barnes, he's putting together a nice season so far. He is their team leader in minutes per game, total rebounds, points, blocks and steals. Last time out, the Raptors, they absolutely destroyed the Detroit Pistons. Impressive home court, 113-142 win. Toronto scored 30 plus points in all 4 quarters. They opened the scoring inside 15 seconds and held the lead the whole way through, never let it go. 7 of 12 Toronto players who featured scored in double digits, being led by Pascal Siakam with 23. Scotty Barnes and Dennis Schroeder both put up 17 points along with 9 rebounds. Barnes, I'll get it right. Barnes had 9 assists and Schroeder 7. Jakob Poeltl, he produced a 16 point, 10 rebound double-double, and Gary Trent Jr. came from the bench to lead that unit with 18 points. They started with Dennis Schroeder, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam and Jakob Poeltl. Gary Trent Jr., Malachi Flynn, Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, Grady Dick and Jalen McDaniels were their bench unit. So for tonight they have just 2 injuries. Thaddeus Young is questionable and Christian Koloko is out. All their 3 two-way players are unavailable, being assigned to their G League team. Expect the Raptors to follow their lineups of previous games. Their starting unit has only varied briefly when OG Anunoby was unavailable to play. Head to head, the Raptors 99 regular season games, and the score stands 42-57 to the Raptors. Last season was split 2-all, with both teams winning both home court games. Recent history is very much with Toronto. It is season 2011-12 since Orlando won that series, and in that period the Raptors had winning streaks of 5 games, 9 games and 11 games. Final thought. So I'm going to reiterate what we said about going into the Indiana game. This season, the Magic have not been below the 500 mark as far as our record goes. That's been attained at times playing without 3 starters and having a rookie guard running the point. So besides this being a regular season game, as I've said, it's also an in-season tournament fixture. It means a new look court for the Amway. It does mean it's another must-win game for both teams. Toronto need the win to be in contention, and the Magic need the win to be really pushing to progress into the next round. Absolutely crucial, and the points differential could be important. So restricting Toronto's ball movement for me is going to be an absolute key for the Magic as they look to build on what was a fantastic 3-1 road trip as we begin a 6-game homestand. If you've enjoyed this preview, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us do what we do. Hit the subscribe button, but most importantly, let's go Magic and get that W.